So while I'm driving, I wanted to go into part 2 of what I think it is important in GMing for Pathfinder. And really, you can take this for any game. I think as you design your campaign, you've got to have a couple things in mind. Number one, where are the characters going to be adventuring? Whether it's a pre-made world or one of your own design, or one that's a hybrid, you have to know where the players are going to be adventuring. What's the weather like? What's the climate like? What's the political climate like? What's going on right now in the country? Is it a stable point in that country or that area's time? Or is it a time of upheaval? Or is it a time of rebirth? Or is it a time of new change? All those things are going to factor into the story of what you're going to tell the characters. Also sit down and take the time to think out who is the power structure in that area. There are secret societies, there are Illuminati groups, there are regular government. There are all kinds of things. And you as a player prep GM, as a GM, my thoughts go off sometimes. You as a GM are going to be building that web of intricacy around these players. So pick some interesting figures for the characters to have as allies, as I don't knows, and as enemies. Don't make it always so straightforward. The enemy wants to kill the player. No, they don't. They want to thwart the player any way they can, or align the character with them. They want to do something to reach their goals. And that leads to the next thing. What are the goals of each group? Take a little bit of time. Pick out 2 or 3 things. And how are they going to achieve it? Also, what kind of terrain is in that area? That's always a good one. Mountainous, waterborne. I love ship adventures, by the way. I think they're the best of the best. Planar adventures, going to different planes, a lot of fun. Jumping worlds, also a lot of fun. But it's going to take a lot more time and a lot more prep. Build a pantheon of deities that make sense. Either pick the ones that the books give you or build your own. But either way, make them make sense with a real story of how they created the world and how they're involved. What kind of supernatural things are going on in that area? Are there demons? Are there devils? Are there demodans? Are there chitons? What's in that area that's causing some of the unusual, mysterious things? I'm a huge fan of undead. Love undead because of the directions you can go with them. I also love witches and some other things that you can play in the thing. So don't be afraid to do that. Don't you love the music around me in these cars? But that's kind of the framework that you want to put into effect. Then write a little bit of the story of the cities. I really believe in picking out settlement sheets that Pathfinder gives and fleshing them out and giving yourself some notable NPCs that the players are going to cross paths with or could, because that can become really fun in a story when you're telling the story. What access do the characters have to magic items and how many? Up to you as a GM. Most players like a balance, I think. There are the uber players that want the relics. I wouldn't give it to them too fast, but then don't necessarily hold it away from them either. Just make it an epic journey to get one, and then make it an epic time once they get one. Is there going to be mythic tiers involved? And that's something in Pathfinder that you don't get in the other games. Mythic tiers can make it fun. It makes you from the average everyday hero to the really good hero to the Hercules type of hero, or Jason and the Argonauts, or Sinbad. This is the kind of fun that you can do with a mythic, or a Gandalf. You can really allow your players to become that and grow. But if you're going to do that, have some epic events that take them there, that allow them to an advance in a mythic tier. Just remember, however, if you let them go up too fast, they're going to become just outrageous early on in the story. Also, what's the alignment of the region? What do most of the people gravitate to? Great example. If you go to Nidal, which is the area where the Chitons and Zan Kuthan is. That's a very lawful evil, barbaric, pierce themselves, gothic, I love pain and torture kind of area. And so you get a lot of people that'll go against your party. Cheliax, Land of the Devils, and Devil Packs. Boy, that's a mixed bag of worms, depending on which group you run into there. You could be with the Church of Iomedae, who maybe necessarily doesn't like the devil worship, but tolerates it. You can be with Desna, who hates it all, or you can be with the devils and pick like Baphomet or Mammon or some of the others, and let your players become diabolical. Up to you. And also, at the end of the day, what is the overall goal of the campaign? Let the characters drift a little and have some fun. Don't just rigidly lockstep them down the line to running a path or a campaign. However, don't let them go out of control either. Otherwise, you'll get so far off storyline that you'll lose them. Remember, players love a good story, so you really have to think it out. And you can evolve the story to them and how they react as they go along. Always remember that. And so I think when you design these areas, take that time to do this and to really make it an interesting area that they want to be in and want to adventure in. And find out where they're from and how their story ties them together. You don't have to have them start all together. I didn't with my recent campaign. They kind of came together as they went along and naturally just kind of formed together. I'm okay with that. Let them do that as they feel fit, and it'll make a great story with some great humor. So I think these are just a couple little tidbits. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but if you design this out ahead of time, you'll have less headaches, and it'll make it a lot more fun, and you're going to be able to respond a lot better as things go and play out. So, another set of tidbits. I'll be back again with more stuff on the GMing front.